Hi everyone, welcome to Helppo. Today we're going to be talking about the IELTS academic reading section, specifically how to use a three-step process: skimming, scanning, and close reading. In this video we'll take a look at a practice exam taken from the IELTS website. We'll start by skimming a few paragraphs from the practice exam. Then we'll use the scanning technique to find answers. Finally, we'll see how we can use close reading to answer more complex questions. The example paragraphs and questions used in this video can be found at the link in the description. So let's get started. We'll learn how we can skim, scan, and closely read our way to boosting that reading score. Skimming. When you're taking your exam, you may feel intimidated when you come face to face with a block of words and a bunch of questions. You might expect you have to understand every single word in detail within a short amount of time, or you may feel tempted to look at the questions first and hope to find the answers floating around somewhere. Fear not though, because by employing the methods we're about to go over, you'll be able to read the passage quickly with minimal forgotten details. The first thing you're going to do with the reading is skimming. Instead of seeing this passage as an incomprehensible wall of text, you'll be able to skim through and get a general idea of how the passage is laid out. Skimming involves pinpointing and mapping out where to find certain pieces of information. First of all, when you're skimming, you want to ask yourself two questions in each paragraph. First, what is the paragraph about? And second, how is the text organized? So what do you want to look for when skimming? Look at the beginning of the paragraph, then look at the end of the paragraph. Take note of or highlight important words such as names, dates, or italicized vocabulary. Today we'll look at 4 paragraphs from the IELTS practice exam. We're going to show you each paragraph on screen for a few seconds so you can skim it, and then together we'll highlight the information gleaned from skimming. Here's paragraph A. In recent years, we have all been exposed to dire media reports concerning the impending demise of global coal and oil reserves, but the depletion of another key non-renewable resource continues without receiving much press at all: helium, an inert, odorless, monatomic element known to lay people as substance that makes balloons float and voices squeak when inhaled, could be gone from the planet within a generation. By looking it over quickly, we can see that this paragraph mostly tells us about what helium is used for by common people. It's organized by contrasting helium with other resources that may get more attention than helium, despite its scarcity. Take a few seconds and try to skim paragraph B. Here we can see what helium is made of and how it's extracted. This paragraph mostly spits facts about helium's composition and where it can be found. Now let's turn to paragraph C. This paragraph expresses the author's viewpoint clearly in its topic sentence. It then goes on to show the many uses for helium and why its scarcity could spell disaster for many different fields. The paragraph gives an argument and backs it up with proof of its importance. Let's look at a 4th and final paragraph. Go ahead and skim this one. Paragraph D contains information about the qualities of helium and why it is important. It also discusses how the declining supplies are steadily affecting research and development around the world. As a final tip, while you're skimming the entire passage, it's helpful to take a few notes on each paragraph. Here's an example of notes you may have taken. Paragraph A, helium is scarce. Paragraph B, helium composition and extraction. Paragraph C, uses of helium and importance. Paragraph D, qualities of helium, declining supplies. After you've skimmed the material and taken a few notes, let's look over the questions without answering them and start scanning. Now that we have a general idea of what our reading is about, let's get a little bit more detailed by scanning through it. If skimming helps us to see the overall picture of the passage, scanning will help us to find details we need to answer the questions. Let's see how we can scan to get an idea of what the answer to our next question could be. As an example, let's look at question 27 from the practice exam. Which paragraph contains the following information? A use for helium which makes an activity safer. For this question, you'll need to identify the paragraph which contains the information, so the answer might just be paragraph A or paragraph B, etc. Let's go back to the paragraphs we skimmed. Which one discusses uses of helium? It was paragraph C. Specifically, we need to look for an activity that is safer because of helium. We're scanning the paragraph to confirm if a use for helium which makes an activity safer is stated. We can see that yes, it is mentioned. Scuba diving is a clear activity made safer because of helium. Close reading. Sometimes scanning isn't enough to get a clear answer. Occasionally, the question's complexity will merit having to closely read the paragraph to find the correct answer. For certain types of questions, such as the yes, no, not given questions, we need to employ close reading to get the details. These small details can come up and even be the deciding factor on whether an answer is correct or not. When you're doing close reading, try to grasp the meaning of each word in the section you're looking at. Make sure you read the entire sentence or paragraph carefully to get the context and writer's intent of the section you're reading. Finally, read the question and answer choices carefully. Remember, some choices will have correct information, but will have one flaw, which makes the answer incorrect. In other words, they might add erroneous details in one of the answers, just to try to throw you off. Let's tie this video up by trying a question on our practice test. In this part of the reading exam, we're tasked with marking yes if the statement agrees with the claim of the author, no if the statement contradicts the claim of the author, or not given if there's not enough information in the passage to know for sure. Take a look at question 33. It says here, helium is a very cold substance. Will we answer yes, no, or not given? By the time we've started looking at the questions, we should already have skimmed the paragraph to figure out where to find certain pieces of information. We figured that paragraph D contains qualities of helium, which would likely include information about its temperature. Now let's scan the paragraph to see where we might see something about the temperature. We see the word boiling point, which might give us a clue to the correct answer. Hold on though, let's use close reading to see exactly what it says about this boiling point. It says here that helium's boiling point is lower than that of other elements, but does that mean the answer is yes? Not necessarily. If we use close reading to look through the rest of the paragraph, we don't find any more information about whether it is cold or not. We know that it boils at a lower temperature than other elements, but we don't see anything about the actual temperature of helium itself. Thus, we can see that we don't have enough information to definitively say whether or not helium is very cold, so we can answer not given. To wrap things up, let's review our reading process. First, skim the entire passage to map out where to find information. Then, read the questions, making sure you know the intent of each question and taking note of any words or phrases that could throw you off. Scan the paragraph related to the question, looking for words or phrases that might contain the answer. Finally, read the paragraph carefully to get the context and author's intent. Make sure you understand fully what you need before marking down your answer. Skimming, scanning, and close reading can help you make sure that you're reading with purpose. With each type of question, you will need to balance out how much time you spend on each step. Some questions may just require you to scan to find an answer quickly. Others may need more close reading to find details that can make the difference between two very similar answer choices. Practice makes perfect. Why not polish your skills on a practice test? You can also get real-time, one-on-one coaching with us at Helppo.com. Links are in the description. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel to get the latest exam tips. Happy testing!